Good morning. My name is Jake Livingston, Planning Ops for the Alaska Type 1 team, and I'm going to give you an operational update for the Cedar Creek Fire East Zone for Monday, September 19th. As far as acreage, we're showing 113,322 acres with 11% containment. On the night of September 17th, we did have some precipitation over the fire area that moderated our fire behavior. And we're expecting more over the next 48 hours. On Tuesday, midday, we're expecting precipitation to start, and 1/4 to 1/2 inch is anticipated. Starting out with the update on the west side of the fire, up in the Charlton Lake and Waldo Lake area, we still have some hotshot crews going direct on the fire's edge, securing that along the Charlton Lake area. Expect that to be completed in the next 48 hours. We have some crews doing some road prep in that vicinity to make a containment line from this fire to the north. We have some crews in the North Waldo campground and Islet area. They're securing the infrastructure around those campgrounds and boat launch areas, and that work will continue for the next 2 days. The 5897 road, Shadow Bay area, down to Gold Lake and down to the 58 corridor. We are prepping that road system with equipment and ground personnel, and the majority of that work is complete, and we expect that to be finished today. Down by the Odell Lake area, all the structures in that vicinity, Sunset Cove and Trapper Creek area, the majority of the work for structure protection has been completed there. And as I said previously, they're just waiting on some small pieces of equipment such as sprinklers and some hose, and we're expected to have that completed today. And then moving a little bit to the east, we have Davis Lake and Pine Butte, and there's those road systems that travel between the 58 corridor and the Cascade Lakes Highway corridor, and work continues on those with equipment and hand crews. They're prepping the north and west side of that road. Still 5 days of work left in there, but they're making good progress. And as we move over to the Cascade Lakes Highway corridor, starting down on the south end, we have a group of equipment working on the west side of the highway with that 100-foot shaded fuel break, and they're progressing down to North Davis Creek area, where then they'll connect to those road systems going across towards the 58 corridor. And then moving up toward Little Cultus Lake and Deer Lake around Cultus Mountain, we still have some chipper operations along those interior road systems, and then up ahead of the chippers that are removing just the small limbs and that sort of thing, we have some fallers that are falling some trees that are deemed to be hazardous, and then behind them we have hand crews working to remove the vegetation on the south and west side, the side closest to the fire. And what their plan is to make a containment line around the south side of Cultus Lake and Cultus Mountain. And all along the Cascade Lakes Highway corridor, we have groups of equipment working on the 100-foot fuel break on the west side, as I mentioned before. So there's groups of equipment working in various portions of that highway corridor. The values at risk along the corridor, which would include campgrounds, trailheads, and the various lodges and resorts, Lava Lake, Crane Prairie, Twin. Most of the prep work there is done. They're just fine-tuning what they've already done previously. With the cold temperatures predicted, they do daily drain the water out of the pumps so they don't freeze and break. And as I mentioned before, there are about 115 pumps spread throughout this area. And then we do still have groups on the north end and the south end identified that can respond to other fires that start in the local area as needed. And that's the update for September 19th. Stay tuned, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.